Well, I think attendance, that's something that's not foreign to even NIU. We're seeing a lot of patron or fan apathy across the country. It's something that the whole fan experience, as they call it, is something that's being looked at from the Big Ten to the SEC, and people are putting a lot of time in it. It's important to really know that, focusing on, obviously folks come to games is one thing, but it's also the amenities. It's the parking, it's the restrooms, it's the concessions, it's the connectivity. It's all these things, that need to be paid attention to. So as you're going through all those different quality control items, you need to make sure that your facilities, your staff, your customer service, up in Wisconsin, we brought in Disney. We brought Disney to deal with customer services. You'd be surprised. It's a saying, thank you. We appreciate you being here, making sure that that you feel, quite frankly, of service to a certain degree when you come and you come and check out the different events. So we will take a look at all those areas, and that will be a byproduct of that will be more better fan attendance. Then we'll throw in your typical marketing initiatives, and some of those I want to keep a little close to the vest. But part of it is going to be based on a family-friendly atmosphere. We have to focus that. That's what NIU is all about, and I think it's very important for us to make sure that we really paint that picture. Obviously, I'm going to challenge the students. I'd like the students to come out. So if you're listening to this, fans, come out, make it happen. I'm going to make it. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to put some things in play where it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun to come to the games, and then we're going to do some of the old school marketing initiatives, and we're going to do some new school marketing initiatives. Some of the things that I'd like to do around just fan engagement is take a look at concerts and some other types of things, either before or after events, tie it into that, so we bring in folks from not in the area, maybe the alums, that they can come back, and we can tie that into some type of existing concert or some other type of novelty component with our athletic events, especially our larger ones. We'll get a bit of a bang to that. So just a couple of teasers there, but we'll be really aggressive on the marketing side to do things that we haven't done, or to do things that we used to do and maybe they didn't work. So we're going to kind of mix with old and new, some of the old, and then hopefully it works. But if it doesn't work, we're not going to stop. We tried that, didn't work. Well, we'll continue at it, because we do understand that sitting home and watching the game on TV sometime might just be very comfortable. Well, if you don't come to the game or you don't come to the event, you might be missing something, and that's kind of the edge I'm going to have. Well, I think that right away, obviously you're dealing with the fan experience piece of it. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about from some of the fans and supporters around, football scheduling in particular. So obviously the fan experience, dealing with the facility situation, and then dealing with the scheduling. Obviously you're dealing with folks are talking about the football schedule, but I'm talking about all, because I'm seeing tie-ins that if we do schedule, say I just go back to Wisconsin. Well, couldn't we schedule them in basketball as well? Can we do a bit of a combination of both? So I'm going to be really aggressive around the football scheduling, basketball scheduling, all the scheduling across the board. The fan experience pieces are key. I think the other issue is across campus relationships. Getting to know faculty, students, and staff. I think that's extremely important for me to get to know folks. You come over the summertime, you get here, but we're dealing with a skeleton crew, so to speak, when we deal with students and staff. So as we get into August and September, I want to get to meet people. So I want to get the rhythm of the athletic department. So those are key issues there that are just things that I need to go really hard on to get to know folks. Yeah, I'll be upfront with you. Hockey's been a part of my career for a very long time. It'll never really leave me at some level. I got a 4-year-old that will still be on the ice. She loves to skate. I'll have to go up to Rockford, I think, to make that happen. But it'll be a part. It'll be a part who I am. I'll miss it. I live vicariously through the TV for that. The great news is that we've got great youth programs in the Chicagoland area. I'll be looking forward to talking to the club program as well. Obviously, I've got great programs here. I'm I'm not in the process of starting up hockey. I want to get rid of that rumor right now. But I am a college hockey supporter and will always be. I think it's a great sport. But at this point in time, what I'll do is I'll be more of a fan now. Kind of, I've been to the mountaintop, so to speak, and been the chairman of different committees and such. So now I can sit back and really enjoy it from a different vantage point. Well, my favorite movie is The Natural. It was a Robert Redford, right? Yeah. And I get touched by that movie. Just someone who had some tragedy, who was just this pure athlete. So I enjoy that movie. I think it's interesting to talk about the athletic experience, and there's Roy Hobbs. It's just interesting that character, and who he was. He was such a dynamic, athletic person, and had some tragedy, but just because he was this pure athlete, he was able to overcome a lot of that stuff. So it was just interesting. So that'd be my favorite movie. As far as TV show, I don't have a real favorite TV show. I do enjoy The Iron Chef. Okay. Gordon Ramsay. I'm able to. There's some parts of him that remind me of my father on some levels. So I just enjoy his attention to detail and perfection. Sometimes he goes overboard, but it's kind of comical the way he interacts with his people. So maybe that's the coach in me that comes out. So from that perspective, those would be the two that I have. Favorite sports team? I tell you what, I've been enamored by obviously Green Bay. Being being in Wisconsin. I'm a New York native, so I have a New York Giants component. Got me in trouble up in Wisconsin because some of the success that the Giants had recently. But from a football perspective, I'm a Met fan. So enjoy. But I enjoy the Cubbies. I don't want to have any defectors on me on the White Sox and the Cubbies, but I've enjoyed that from a baseball perspective. So I've watched those particular teams, those professional teams, but I'm a college fan. So I'm a big-time college football fan, big-time college hockey fan. Obviously, I enjoy college baseball, the World Series in Omaha. I enjoy college athletics. I think college athletics are, by far, from an American standpoint, one of the best sports on TV or are up and close in person. Walter Payton. Sweetness was one of those athletes, growing up, and everything he embodied, and just watching, just watching him and some of the adversity and some obviously his death, and just a pure athlete. Just go back and watch that. I thought that was quite interesting. That some of the things they've done in his life, and and having the chance to follow that. He'd be my all-time greatest, obviously professional athlete. I'm trying to think about Martina Navratilova, just on the tennis side, looking at all the different championships and different things like that. But those would be the two, if you're just looking at, just pure athletes I followed during my time. It's interesting to didn't have any New York sports stars back in those days. Obviously, I could name off a number of them, but those are the individuals who I followed growing up. Well, obviously, I love my kids. I don't have enough time I feel really guilty, like any other parent. You spend so much time. The athletic director's job is not a job; it's a lifestyle. It's not something you shut off. All of our administrators, our coaches, you just don't shut off doing what you do. I think a lot of folks could say that about their careers, but you live this 24/7. This is who you are. So I'm spending time with my family, bringing my family to events. That's key. I like to golf. I love to fish. I'm not a hunter, so to speak, but I'm definitely fish. I try to golf. That takes a certain amount of time and skill, and sometimes I don't have either. Depends on the day. But those are recreational time. I'm a big one on leadership development. I think it's very important to be able to read and to make sure you're up on the current trends, and making sure that you can put your staff and the folks you work with you in the proper position. So those would be my hobbies, so to speak.